All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome. Hope you guys doing well. So Phil Spencer just set the internet on fire with an interview that he did with not only Destin Legarie, but also Paris Lilly and Danny Peña. We're going to go ahead and play those videos, but if you guys want the full length, obviously, interviews, they'll be linked in the description below or probably pinned up top. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to what he had to say.
Indiana Jones has an exclusivity window, to be fair. Can you solidify that Starfield's staying put for the time being?
No, like I'm not, there's no specific game that this kind of goes back to my red line answer. Like there's no reason for me to put a ring fence around any game and say this game will not go to a place that it would find players where it would have business success for us. What we find is we're able to drive a better business that allows us to invest in great game lineup like you saw. And that's our strategy, right? Our strategy is to allow our games to be available. Game Pass is an important component of playing the games on our platform. But to keep games off of other platforms, we don't think is a path that that's not a path for us. It doesn't work for us. What we're doing now, we think really enables us to build the best platform for the world's best games, because the world's biggest games are available in multiple places. And more creators are asking us, how do we stay connected when our game might be playable in all these different places? And we want Xbox to be absolutely the platform that enables that. We think that makes us unique. Most of the other platforms out there are single platform on single device, whether that's PC, whether it's mobile, whether it's a console. And we want Xbox to be a platform that enables creators across any screen that people want to play on.
I hear you. That makes absolutely perfect sense to me. I do think that some fans are a little concerned about, how should I say it, Xbox losing its identity maybe? What would you say to address those concerns from longtime fans?
Well, one, I hear them, right? I'm pretty active in our player base and I'm active in the community. I listen. I think our identity will continue to evolve, which it frankly always has. But when I hear concerns about, is my library of games safe? Am I still going to be able to play the games? And I think over the years, I'm proud of the commitment we've shown to respecting purchases on our platform through back compat, through cross entitlement, Xbox Play Anywhere, through crossplay, things that we've done to enable people to continue to play. So I hear that. When I think about I see the investments we're making in platform and how we want Xbox to show up in multiple places and your library to be available there. When I think about buy to stream, so if I buy a game, I'll be able to stream it to devices. Like this is all about making sure that your library of games that you own on Xbox are playable in multiple places. So I'd say it's an evolution of our identity, but I believe it's an identity that this industry needs. When you think about where this industry is now and you see the challenges, the business challenges that are out there for many companies, that I think us keep making games more accessible to more people has just got to be front and center for us as an industry. So we continue to see great games that we've seen over the years.
That into this is an Xbox. In your interpretation, so it's coming from your words, what does that mean now for Xbox as you head into the future?
Yeah, I want people to be able to experience the games that we build, the services that we offer on as many devices as we can. Obviously, some of the devices out there, some of the platforms are closed. They don't allow everything that we do to show up on those platforms. The thing that I've learned and continue to learn when I'm listening to creators, not only our own studios, but other teams building games, is every creator out there wants to build a game that can find as many players as they want. And frankly, there aren't many platforms out there that try to build connections to people on so many different screens. It's almost like single platform, single device, single game. And that's kind of the history of our business. And we're really taking an approach of we want people to be able to play Xbox on many different screens. Now, not every experience will be the same. We obviously love the native experience we have on our own platform and our own hardware. And that's something that will continue for us. But we're not going to put walls up around where people can engage with the great games our studios are building, or where they can experience Xbox through different forms, whether it's cloud, whether it's on PC, whether it's on handheld PCs, whether it's on phones. I want everybody to be able to play on Xbox. And it does mean more of our games shipping on more platforms, not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam. And that's going to continue. We'll just continue to do more of it because what we learn is put the games first. Make sure the games can be as great as they can. We love the experience on our own hardware, our own platform, but our games will show up in more and more places, no doubt.
Okay, so as you guys clearly can see, the actual situation is here. Now, a lot of people are having a mixed reaction towards Phil's response, as expected, because a lot of people are so used to exclusives. But as you guys can clearly see with this industry, that is the last thing we need to be worried about as things are going forward. And here's why. Now, I talked about this in one of my last videos where I talked about how a bunch of developers are hoping for GTA 6 to start a new trend with games now, being $100. That's basically what the whole situation was. It's funny, in the middle of recording this, IGN literally just posted another article in regards to this where it says an analyst is actually pretty accurate, and he's talking about the games being $80 to $100. So again, this is still being brought up here, and you guys already know the agenda behind this, but at the same time, here's the reason why. A lot of people are so obsessed in talking about the exclusive side of things. I've seen a lot of crazy takes, like people saying, like, okay, if these games were exclusive, I would have invested into the Xbox ecosystem. Let's just go ahead and be honest here, people. If you didn't buy an Xbox now, you had no intention on buying one anytime in the future, okay? If these games were exclusive, it would have been the same tired console war shenanigans that you've seen multiple times a day. People would call these games trash. They would have called these games, like the studio's trash. The game was going to be a failure. They would have literally been jinxing it from the start. But now that you now have an option to play this on PlayStation, dudes are now taking screenshots of them buying it at full price, as if that's some kind of gotcha moment towards the Xbox fans that are actually, excited that you're buying this. Why? Because guess what? You're funding their sequels. That's what they want. You're funding and greenlighting all of Phil Spencer's sequels, and you're funding them getting more acquisitions as this generation eventually comes to a close. That's what you guys are doing. They don't care. Okay, showing off PS5 Pro enhanced photos and all this stuff, or receipts, and then putting PS5 Pro of all things in front of it does not help your argument, nor does it make you look any better. It makes you look stupid, because the only true pro type of experience in regards to any of these games, especially in the console space, will be PC. But of course, they don't want to have that type of conversation. Anyway, moving forward. As you guys can see, though, Phil Spencer is very optimistic to doing this, and a lot of you are probably wondering why. Well, it's very simple. The price of games is simply too high. Shout out to Spawnwave, I think it was Spawnwave Media, Spawnwave Media, who said the same thing that I've been saying. Here's their actual tweet on the screen. Basically, game budgets are in the 200 millions, upwards to like 400 million, guys. These games are too expensive. They're not making the amount of money needed. Shuhei Yoshida, he tried to warn you guys earlier when he flat out said that, listen, yeah, if you guys want those single player games that you quote unquote love so much, you got to buy our single player games that we're giving you. And unfortunately, the games that they're giving you, this is why I've been so vocal about it, are the same games that we've already played. And a lot of them have content that is cut, especially like The Last of Us. This is the stuff that I can't get behind, nor can I support. I'm not with it at all. But unfortunately, Sony's packed into a really, really weird corner, because these type of games are the ones they need to sell in order for you to get the ones that you truly want. And also, keep in mind, even if they're not making enough, they flat out said the extra money that they get, courtesy of Shuhei, that they get from PC, from the PC community, is what's used to actually, again, make the games you want. So there's a lot of weird takes, though. People have been saying that the PC community is bad, going day and date's not a good thing for the console, when the reality is the PC community that's been funding literally all your games. If it wasn't for the PC community, Helldivers 2 would not have been a crazy success story that it is. It would not have been. So I don't understand why people just can't get that through their thick skulls, but I get it. It's to look good. I understand. Console wars are console wars, but unfortunately, the console wars have reached a point where there is no... the console wars really been over, but dudes wanted to keep it alive for multiple reasons in their own personal gain. I can't tell you how bad this looks for everybody. I really, really can't. If games are barely selling at $70 and the industry wants to put out stuff at $100, expect sales to be extremely low. But why exactly would they do this in the first place? Well, it goes back to what I said about dudes not supporting what they're talking about. For example, look at Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was very, very, very well received. This game was published by PlayStation. It's not a PlayStation first party, but it was published by PlayStation, and it's only available on PlayStation. That game sold a little over 1 million. If you go to the game of the year for last year, which was Astrobot, Astrobot sold about 1.5 million copies worldwide on that console. If we go to a game like, I don't know, Final Fantasy only sold 2 million copies, and that was not enough, and to the point where Square Enix canceled their entire partnership in terms of the exclusive side for Sony. So as you guys can clearly see, the sales are not making enough for the money that these games are made. You guys really want those single player games. Unfortunately, they're costing way too much, and also keep in mind, those games take the longest to make. So when I see people celebrating stuff like, oh, these live service games getting canceled, and then expecting like, oh yeah, things are going to get better. Yeah, they will get better in the PS6 generation. You see, when they cancel those games, they're going back to the drawing board. They now have to go back and draw something else or bring something else up, unless they had another game on the back burner with another team. But that's a wishful thinking type of thing. You see what I'm saying? Most of these games now, we're not going to see until PlayStation 6. And when PlayStation 6 comes, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be more of a repeat, what you got with the PS5 gen, what they did with the 4, with 5, to now 6. You're going to have cross-gen games with PS6 and vice versa to keep things going and keep money going. That's exactly what Sony will do. And it's actually pretty insane. It's pretty insane. We have bigger fish to fry, ladies and gentlemen, than to be crying about exclusives. Exclusives is the last thing you need to be worried about. Why? Because exclusives are the last thing that are selling at this point. You guys have seen the numbers. There's really no need to argue over exclusivity. Exclusives are not the be-all, end-all anymore. It's just a bragging right people like to do to argue over the internet over petty stuff. That's literally it. Everybody argues over the dumbest stuff. Oh, my game does this. I have this game. And when you ask them, hey, did you beat that game? No, they didn't beat that game. That is their mentality of how silly this console war has gotten and how ridiculous people have gotten in terms of trying to preserve this console war for their own selfish gain and doing everything they possibly can to try to make noise for the absolute wrong reasons. Unfortunately, that right there is the sad part, ladies and gentlemen. It's the sad part. Console gaming will always have its purpose. It's not going anywhere with Microsoft's approach. Microsoft is selling you an ecosystem with multiple ways to play, and they're giving you a cheap alternative to get into gaming through Game Pass. That's it. Their games would be everywhere. Cool. That's awesome. More people get to play games. More games would be greenlit. Games would be better. You know who also needs to take on this approach? PlayStation. They need to take on this approach because PlayStation is offered nothing this generation aside from stuff that we've already played in PlayStation 4 that no one asked for. Sony has every opportunity, every game. They have the legacy. They have more legacy than Xbox, and they're not even tapping into their legacy. They lost their way in terms of creativity. Something's got to give, people. It's either we give up the exclusives, or we're paying $100 for games, we're paying upcharges online, and vice versa. Something seriously needs to go. I'm telling you, exclusives are not doing anything for us anymore. They're not. They're really, really not. People might say I'm crazy, but we're not. The numbers don't lie. Dudes are not buying them. They're not the be-all, end-all at all. What comes down at the end of the day is what the consumer sees as value. Exclusives are not the thing they see the value in. If it was, they would have been selling on the PlayStation and Xbox. And here's the funny thing about that. Before someone brings up Nintendo is a whole different ball game. Nintendo fans buy everything Nintendo. If it's Nintendo socks, they sell out. Nintendo games are funny enough. Nintendo is in the best shape they've ever been because Nintendo doesn't go over the top with their production of their games. Nintendo's games do not cost that much. in terms of making those games at all. They don't do that. In fact, Nintendo has arguably the best money management when it comes to their studios. Their games are guaranteed to sell 30 million, and at the same time, Nintendo's games are guaranteed to not break the budget. That is how insane Nintendo's got their grip on. Nintendo is literally the kings right now. That's why Nintendo is not even talking to either one besides in regards to doing things. They're doing their own thing. And unfortunately, people just don't understand that, but it is what it is. In all honesty, dog, I get a lot of people want to keep on, they want to hang on to the past, but honestly, it's time to embrace the future, man. If you guys love gaming, just embrace gaming. Things are changing. Strategies have evolved. The old regime that we fell in love with is no longer with PlayStation. They have retired or left. We just lost Ted Price from Insomniac Games, and people probably are bringing up Insomniac in the comment section. Insomniac flat out told you, like, can't even guarantee you Wolverine this year. Wolverine's probably not going to come out to 2026. I'm just being honest. Can we be honest with ourselves here and stop crying over stuff that don't matter and get back to what gaming is? Can we? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. See you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.